Back at it again. Another episode of the Part My Back Show. It's me, Sebastian West. Follow me on Instagram @_Sebastian West, where you can check out my artwork and all of its splendor. If you don't like when I'm kicking, like when I'm spitting, just know when you tune to this, the cloth is different. If you don't know by now, this is your first time tuning in, I appreciate it. If it's not your first time tuning in, I also appreciate that as well. This is the most objective, not the most objective perspective, but I do have an objective perspective regarding movies that I speak about. I'm non-biased and sometimes I am biased. So do not take me serious in some cases, alright? I'm just a bozo with a camera that decides to ramble about movies sometimes. But sometimes I ramble about documentaries. That was a smooth segue, so let's talk about a documentary that I watched recently. It's titled The Stand. It's a story about Chris Jackson, aka Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, who was known as Chris Jackson back then, right? So, if you didn't know, if you've been living under a rock, he was a dominant point guard back in the 90s. Dominant point guard. Cooking people. Frying everybody. Like seriously, he was frying people. And then he disappeared. Now back then I was too young to really understand what had actually happened to his career. So this gave me more insight regarding what really happened to his career. And I think this is the perfect time to share a story. Who am I, right? I'm just a guy that's talking about documentary. I think it's the perfect time due to the climate and due to this whole, this uprising of events that has taken place in the past few years. So, okay, I'll get right into it, man. You know what I mean? All right, so boom. He grew up in the South, struggled, had siblings. Sometimes they couldn't eat. He had a really rough upbringing in the South. He's from Mississippi, Gulfport, to be exact. And he had Tourette syndrome. He suffered from that as well. They called it the shakes back then. And when he finally was, diagnosed and it came up with the medical term, which is Tourette syndrome, he wore that with a badge of honor because it actually had a name. It wasn't just called the shakes. He was like, no, I have Tourette syndrome. So he went to LSU. He was cooking in high school, went to LSU, cooking over there. His teammates he met along the way, which was Shaquille O'Neal and Stanley Roberts. Okay. Before his, things were going well. In school, doing the whole college thing, and he just couldn't take his mom suffering, with poverty and whatnot. So he said, I'm gonna try to go to the NBA. Boom. He moved up to, I think he was a third overall draft pick in the NBA. That showed you how dead nice he was. Like, he was nice. They didn't know if he could really do the same thing doing in college, because he was more of a phenomenon than Shaquille O'Neal at LSU. People didn't know that though. It was him. Like, I know Shaq, but no, it was him. He was the man, right? So Tourette syndrome helped him perfect his craft in a sense, because he would do things over and over and over just to perfect it. If certain things weren't aligned, I think they call it OCD. If certain things weren't aligned, he would have to redo it over and over and over. So that kind of helped him with his shooting, his dribbling, the whole shebang, right? Gets to the Nuggets, everything's going smooth, and then he was seeking more. Right, so he grew up this way, grew up that way. He, a guy, Muslim brother, so gave him some information about it, and he was reading. Oh, they gave him a book about Malcolm X, right? He was intrigued by that, so then he started to search a little bit more. Came on a Muslim brother, and bingo, from that point on, it was on and popping. Took it very serious, and this is where things start to, change within his lifestyle. He, like I said, he never never partied anything in the NBA or in college or nothing. And he was very disciplined because he wanted to be the best. So he didn't have time for the shenanigans, right? I admire that. I can relate to that too. So things, he took his praying seriously. He took things serious. Like a lot of it just, the irony is that when you have a quote unquote a just cause, not many people will understand it. Now, if you want to get into some foolery, everybody's going to support you. Everybody's going to follow you. But when you start going against the quote unquote status quo, not many people are going to follow you. They're just not. That's just not how things go. So he took this stance, literally, against the national anthem. And the whole, I'm not, first and foremost, it was, I'm not going to stand for the national anthem, right? Which we shouldn't anyway. If people know how racially derived those lyrics are, nobody would stand for it. But of course, this is America, right? Country of the free, quote unquote, right? Freedom, freedom, freedom. Yeah, right. That's a joke. So he stopped standing for months. Nobody noticed it. This radio disc jockey or whatever, he noticed it, put him on blast, and now it's creating all this attention in the NBA. First, it was cool. And it's a lot of cornballs in this, man. I ain't gonna front, man. Shaquille O'Neal, you played yourself. This is this whole, you gotta play the game, like you gotta do these big corporations, do what they say to play the game. Because he made a comment and it's like, it's corny, man. Bernie Bickerstaff, you look corny too. Talking about no distraction, he's a distraction, and it has nothing to do with that. If anything, people should have, once again, I can relate to this in so many ways. When you're doing something just, not many people are going to follow. But when you want to get into some foolery, everybody's going to support you and champion you and cheer you on. That's just how it goes. And it shows in this documentary how people didn't support him and they changed on him. Now, there's one particular brother, his childhood friend who grew up with him. He supported him through thick and thin. Salute to him. He rolled with him until the wheels fall off. Like, he's still rocking with him to this day. But get back into the documentary. Sorry, I went on a little tangent. So, the NBA came to, like he stated, I never talked to David Stern ever in his life. Bernie Bickerstaff told him, meet with him or something of that nature. And all of a sudden, they're like, yo, it's quiet for you right now. Like, it's quiet. You know what I mean? We're going to figure this out, but in the meantime, it's quiet for you. He was like, well, I can't play today. They was like, no, go pack it up and go home. The Nuggets told Bernie Bickerstaff told him, pack it up and go home. Like, you know what I mean? It's quiet for you. So you think, all right, a few games, et cetera, and I'm gonna be back at it. Nope, didn't happen, man. Did not happen. They got him up out of there. Like, you got to go, fam. Like, we can't have this here. We can't. No, not at all. The irony in this is when they booed him while they were singing the national anthem. That's what do you see the irony in that? Now, you respect his flag and his national anthem so much, but you're booing him while they're singing it. So, it's not the national anthem you're paying homage to, because you can't even hear the lyrics to the song because you're booing him so much when he's there. So he found a way to kind of, some sort of medium, right? So he said, all right, I won't sit down, I will stand, but he would pray. Crazy thing is, he would pray for those to have some sort of understanding as why he's doing this. This is in the 90s. It's bugged out. It's in the 90s. Now, growing up as a kid, I think I wouldn't even put my hand over my heart when they was, put your hand on you, pledge allegiance, all that. I was a kid and I wouldn't do that. I would not do that. I would not put my hand over my heart and all that, singing that stuff. I ain't even had this understanding as a kid. I just knew this just didn't seem right to me. As a kid, I didn't do that. They got in trouble for that too. Bugged out. Yo, when he was getting a house built, right, in the South, because he's from there, his best friend's like, yo, I don't know why he chose this particular place. This KKK there. Like, you don't see many men and women of color. You don't see many black people here. It is bugged out why he chose to pick, a crib here. But that's what he wanted to do. Like, man, I should be able to. I bought all this, and I forgot how many acres. I think like 53 acres he bought. Man, he just spent the money, bought all this land, wanted to build a house there for his family. Boom. So, first thing he noticed was big bulldozer tire tracks while he was building his crib. Then they ran the bulldozer into the bricks, like the foundation. Boom. They damaged the garage. Second thing. Boom. Third thing, they set the house on fire. I think they put like KKK something, you know what I mean? A bunch of, called him out his name, spray painted it on there. The ER, hard ER. They spray painted on there, you know what I mean? And burnt his crib up. Burnt his crib up. Denver traded him Sacramento. They treated him like he wasn't starting, coming off the bench. And he was, like, he's at the prime of his career, and they treating him like trying to fold his career like a futon. It's crazy. He ended up leaving the NBA, of course, and he got dog for him. Nobody calling him. Nobody wanted him to hoop. Like, they isolated him from playing the game that he thought he loved. Yeah, and still, what I respect about him, no amount of money can change a man's mind when you believe in something. Like, you can't be bought. That's the problem with a lot of these people out here to this day. And they can be bought. These athletes, entertainers, what do you call them? They can be bought. They have a price on them. And I respected that he didn't have a price on him because he ain't no hope. He can't be bought out here. So I had to I salute him just for taking that stance, because a lot of people wouldn't. A lot of people not going to support you while you're doing it anyway. And when you go against the grain, people ain't going to follow, man. They just not going to do that. Seriously, they're not going to do it. When you're different, people don't catch it at that time. But later on, then you'll see, oh man, that was nice that he did all this. Like, it was, now they want to, all aboard and get on the bandwagon of what you did back then. Great documentary. Everyone go check it out. It's called Stand. It's a story of Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. Some may know him by Chris Jackson. Great documentary. Check it out. I'll review what is it? A Ukrainian war film I checked out. I'll review that next. It was very good. And yeah. Remember, slow run is better than no run. If you don't like my reviews, cut me some slack, and if that ain't good enough, pardon my bad. Also, never forget, let all things be done decently and in order. In the meantime, hold it down. Peace and salute.